admitted out the ends of the gable. But anyway, those barriers are very important. Frequently they're missing. When they are missing, two things can happen. One is the vent can blow the insulation away and create voids in the insulation above the soffit vent, or the insulation can go the other way and just cover the soffit vent, and you're not getting ventilation, natural ventilation in the attic space. 10 minutes? Thank you. Another thing that can be looked for when you're in the attic and looking at the attic space and the roof, if there is a power ventilation for the attic of any kind, the auditor is going to discourage its use. Certainly if it's consuming grid power, it's a very bad idea. It's almost always a net loser. But even if it's a solar assisted, it needs to be sized very properly so that it's not depressurizing the attic and drawing and sucking air-conditioned air out of the house. There's a variety of problems in HVAC that the auditor is going to be looking for. Some of them are related to the age and the condition of equipment. Many of them will be. Certainly he's going to care about how close you are to needing to replace the equipment anyway, and that'll be a consideration in the cost effectiveness of whatever he recommends in terms of equipment replacement. But he's also going to be looking for installation problems, and what he's looking at in this particular case is there's a supply plenum above the air conditioning unit here, and the supply plenum is much bigger than is appropriate for the unit that it was installed over. So there's a gap here that he's sticking his fingers in, and in the detailed series of slides related to this, the initial solution to this was tape over that gap. Somebody's just stuck tape over it, which was a very inappropriate and certainly a very temporary solution. So that's the kind of thing in terms of not just the age and condition of equipment, but the age and condition of the distribution system and the condition of the original installation. How adequate was the original design and installation? And the person who put together this slide was commenting that this was obviously this was something that was inspected initially by a city inspector and passed and should never have been to begin with. But it happens, and you know it does. I don't know how often you see this. I've seen it more often than I really would care to. But at that junction box, the air conditioning supply is supposed to figure out where to go to get to a balanced supply for each of your rooms and give each room the amount that it needs for comfort. And there was somebody did a design and said, you know, here's how much is needed in each of your rooms. And I don't know what this is trying to do, but there's no way it can do that. There's no way that it can allow a designed delivery of conditioned air to the spaces that it's supposed to serve. So if an auditor walked in and saw that, he would say, you know, we need to think about replacing your ducts. So even though the shell of them look like they're in good condition, there's no gaps in it, it's not falling apart, it's really going to be a source of discomfort and will be considered one of the recommendations for improving your overall performance. Because if you can get comfortable, you'll get control of your thermostat and you'll be able to, you'll use less energy in the long run. Here's another example. This came from a series where a number of different experts had been called out because the house was uncomfortable. It couldn't be cooled, and no matter what they did, they increased the size of the equipment. They fixed ducts in other places, and no one came and looked at the condition of the ducts in the crawl space and saw that it was just disconnected and was, basically refrigerating your possums. But that's the sort of thing that a comprehensive audit is supposed to find, identify for you, and help you identify how that can be addressed properly. Domestic water use is another major energy user, and is in recent years, as Air conditioners have become more efficient, and some of them have been replaced. Some of the older ones have been replaced. Windows have gotten better recently. One of the major sources of energy use, thank you, it has been domestic hot water. This is a relatively efficient one, but the auditor needs to check on its efficiency. Water heating being an important use, he's got to enter that information. He needs to take information off of the, this is showing that it's a powered sealed combustion type, which is a recommended type if it's inside a conditioned space. Lighting. Incandescent bulbs, one of the worst offenders, easiest to replace. You know, if you've got areas where you're using them in your house, it's not so bad in the closet that you open once a year to get out your Christmas stuff. But if you've got incandescent lights in other locations, you should seriously think about replacing them with compact fluorescents now. In larger redos, you can think about replacing various fixtures with fluorescents, compact fluorescents, and even LEDs now. There's some nice fixtures. So appliances, the appliance information the auditor will take and will capture some of that and be able to look up information about its age and efficiency from a website at the California Energy Commission. Garages, another place that an auditor will look for all kinds of interesting opportunities. A lot of times it's going to be the access point for the water heater or sometimes for the attic. Sometimes there'll be ducts that go in and out of the garage, which is a totally unconditioned space frequently. Sometimes this totally unconditioned space is the home of the beer fridge, another big loser, and another opportunity for savings. 5 minutes. So the diagnostic assessment, these tests include both some combustion safety tests for gas leakage, and carbon monoxide. Again, these are recent additions. The Building Professional Analyst, Building Professional Institute, Building Performance Institute Analyst does the combustion safety test, and a certified auditor will do the combustion safety test, and they're important to making health and safety recommendations or health and safety consistent recommendations in the end. Also, if you have an immediate problem, they'll help you identify that and get it fixed. One of the jobs of the auditor is to look for immediate health and safety problems and get them noticed and fixed immediately. So the blower door tests for leakage through all of the gaps in your house, the holes in the wall, the gap around your windows and doors, and other smaller holes that you don't think about. Even your outlets, the duct blaster that you see here tests for leakage in your ducts, both on the supply and the return side. Airflow tests can be done to help you, if there's a recommendation to replace equipment or replace ducts. This test will be done after the ducts are installed in order to see that they are balanced properly. Zonal pressure test will be done at the audit stage. If the pressure is more when doors are closed, if there's more than a 3 Pascal difference between the inside and the outside, then there should be some measure taken, either undercut the doors or create a diverter, so that there's a balancing of the air pressure caused by supply. I won't deal with that. What I'm going to do is the analysis is a software-driven analysis. Again, we use this ResNet recommended or ResNet approved software. It has a particular report. Hey, Russell. It has a particular report called the improvement analysis, which identifies with the auditors making selections. It identifies recommended improvement measures, the energy savings, and their cost effectiveness, their relative rate of return, either the savings to investment ratio or the simple payback in terms of how many years or months it takes you to pay back your investment cost. It gives you a comparative rating called a HERS index. 205, that's about 200% of the energy use of a current code compliant home. Bringing it down to 94 means that house now uses less than a currently designed code compliant home. So the scopes of work identify the areas that need prompt attention, which issues are required for health and safety corrections, and when you may need a license trade, either because of the technicality of the work or the legality of requirements in Texas. So the specification should identify that and help you bid that to others if you want to. Sometimes the auditor will offer to do some or all the work through their company. We like to see independence. If y'all can read that, I think there's an abundance of claims in the marketplace that an auditor can help you work through. The purpose of the audit is to take action. So you should use an auditor to help you identify what actions are right for you. And a certified auditor has a pretty good chance of helping you do that. And thank you.